Another friend of mine, friend of the show. The dude is he is the
man,
mixed martial arts man of Montreal, and a D1 Tyrese Halliburton hater. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, Ariel Helwani. Look at that.
Yeah, that's right.
Helwani.
My guy, O'Shea. Now, I do want to let you know, you said at the beginning there, friend of the show. Yeah. Let the record show, Mr. Jackson.
No.
I haven't been on this program in quite some time. I don't know if Rich has a shadow ban on me or something, but the invites haven't exactly been rolling through. So, number one, I am only here for one reason and one reason only, and that's because my guy, O'Shea Jackson, texted me last night. Now, he probably, struck out with a few guests and then was in a pinch, but that's all well and good. Let it also be known that when I had O'Shea Jackson Jr. on my program, the critically acclaimed Ariel Helwani show, Monday through Wednesday, I had to go through 36 layers of PR people just to get him on the program. Yes. You text me yesterday. How quickly do I respond? Yes.
Immediate,
like 5 seconds?
Immediate,
yeah, that's right.
Bro.
That's
immediate.
Right.
Yeah, and dude, you've been so, when I was first going to do my first episode of the No Contest Wrestling Podcast with my man TJ Jefferson. Shout out TJ Jefferson.
What up, Ariel? He looks great. Yeah, we sat next to each other at WrestleMania in Philly.
Oh, when we were all freezing to death?
Yeah, when we were all freezing that night.
Oh, that was terrible, man. That was terrible.
But, also, Ariel, don't feel bad. O'Shea doesn't text us back.
That's true. Because I know you guys
I'm good. I'm good with O'Shea. It's Rich that I have a problem with. All of a sudden, I'm persona non grata to Mr. Eisen. I mean, what have I done to this guy? and to the rest of you as well, the whole squad. I thought we were cool. I used to come on all the time. It was great for me. I got the rub. I thought I'm a friend of the family.
Oh, you are,
Zach
Ariel.
Rosenfield, Jerry Silbowitz. Yeah. I'm a friend of the family, and I don't get a text. Golly.
Shout out to Jerome and Zach.
Let's go.
I'm loving this so far.
Ariel's an Orangeman, man. Ariel, we're
That's
cool.
Right.
We were at school at the same time and didn't know each other. That's how big Syracuse is.
Or maybe I was just a huge loser who would stay in my dorm and watch pro wrestling all day and didn't really interact with anyone. One of the two. It was one of the two.
You would have found Brockman playing intramural hoops, Ariel, so that's where he was at. He was in the gym.
Dude,
Respect.
Syracuse, that's got to be crazy going to school in New York.
It was very cold.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine, bro. I mean, fight on USC all day. It's pretty warm, pretty loving. But, dude, you've always looked out for me. I remember the first episode we were doing of No Contest Wrestling. I called you, get some advice from you, and you lended me your ear. So I appreciate you being here, man. And there's lots of news over at TKO. There's a lot of things happening over there. You got the UFC with a crazy deal going to Paramount. And then, of course, WWE going to ESPN. Can you imagine that, guys? A show just picking up and just, having to go to ESPN?
Yeah, what's that like?
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
I guess we're going to find out.
Yeah, we'll find out in a couple weeks.
Yeah, kind of break all that down for us a little bit. I think UFC got paid $7.7 billion or something insane like that.
Billion.
What does it mean, Ariel? We're lost in the sauce.
Yo, what a time. As you said, what a time for TKO, because in addition to all of that, and I'll get to all of that, they also have their first boxing show going down September 13th in Las Vegas at Allegiant Stadium on Netflix, of all places, Canelo Alvarez against Terrence Crawford. So TKO really is the center of the combat sports universe. Yeah, that UFC deal, they start, last week with the WWE deal. No one saw this coming. We all suspected, I'm sure you did as well, once the Peacock deal was up in mid-2026, they would just pick that up and bring it over to Netflix to put all the PLEs there, because around the entire universe, whether you're in France, England, Canada, all the shows, meaning Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and the PLEs are on Netflix. It's only in the United States that it's cut up like this. And so once the Peacock PLE deal was done, I think we all thought they were just going to bring it over to Netflix. No. What happens? They bring it over to ESPN starting next year. So it's 10 shows, 12 events, because there's the WrestleMania two-nighter and the SummerSlam two-nighter, and they get around 325 or so million a year for that. That's unbelievable. Just for those shows, no vault, no library included. That's an incredible, incredible deal that no one saw coming. And then when I saw that, I said, okay, that just means the UFC is going back to ESPN. The UFC deal is up at the end of 2025. I felt like that was just confirmation. And then we wake up on Monday and find out, no, not only is the UFC not going back to ESPN, but we all thought as well they would split up their deal, meaning just like WWE has it among Netflix and USA and CW, just like the NBA has it on, ESPN and NBC and Prime. I thought for the first time ever, UFC would split up their deal to get the most amount of money. I thought they would get $1 billion a year in rights fees, but I thought it would be divided among 2 or 3 outlets. In the end, it's $1.1 billion a year from one outlet, Paramount, who's now the exclusive home starting in 2026 of the UFC. By the way, want to know how much they made off that deal? Their previous deal with ESPN was $550 a year. So they've gone from $550 a year to $1.1 billion a year. And then the big news for the fans is no more pay-per-view. And so they were the last ones left essentially consistently on pay-per-view, but now they're going the way of WWE, which is all those numbered shows like the one we have tomorrow in Chicago, UFC 319. That is all going to be on Paramount Plus, and they'll have approximately 4 big shows, tentpole events on CBS in addition to Paramount Plus. So it's a seismic deal. It's a massive deal, and it puts them in the top 5 category of biggest rights fees deals in the United States for all of the major sports.
So no more pay-per-views for UFC.
Starting in 2026, so there's 5 left, including tomorrow. Those are on ESPN Plus exclusively. But yeah, starting 2026, right now the 2 tiers on Paramount Plus, $7.99 with ads, $12.99 without. I could almost guarantee you that's going to go up because they just paid a heck of a lot of money for it. But as of right now, they're touting the fact no more pay-per-view, and you could get it for either $8 or $13. The sequence of events is fascinating. We probably don't even have enough time to go through it all because, we know about the settlement with Donald Trump, the president of the United States, and CBS. Then shortly thereafter, Skydance and Paramount have this merger that finally goes through. It was hitting some roadblocks. I wonder if one has anything to do with the other. And then I wonder if the UFC's relationship with Donald Trump has anything to do with the fact that immediately after that, they announced this deal. I mean, it's almost too coincidental. And oh, by the way, one of the first things that they promote when they announce this deal is on CBS on July 4th, on the White House freaking lawn, on the U.S.'s 250th birthday, there's going to be a UFC event there. So it kind of all feels like one led to the other, what a time, man. What a time to be living in.
Wow. And remember, guys, he's not saying anything. It's just a crazy coincidence.
Crazy coincidence.
That's all. It's just a crazy coincidence.
Hey, Ariel, I heard you talking about this on another show. What does this mean for the fighters themselves? Are they going to get any cut of this? Like, it's $7.7 billion. You think some of that would trickle down to the actual talent?
Yeah, you would think so. So, like, you guys come from a traditional sports mindset, right? So you know that when the NBA gets a big TV deal, the salary cap goes up, and you know that the players get 50% of the revenue. Just talking about the NBA, NFL, similar type of deal. Baseball players do well, all that stuff and more. There's no salary cap. In MMA and in the UFC in particular, none of that exists. So technically, the UFC is not beholden to raise anything. One would think that, yeah, okay, this is going to be good for the fighters. They're now making double. But as of right now, we don't know the answer to that question. And it's so crazy because the UFC likes to say, like, we're just like everyone else. We're a major league sport. And in many respects, they are. But then when Dana White is asked by the media on Tuesday at a press conference, okay, what does this mean for the fighters? Because we know that Paramount's going to benefit from this. They're now the exclusive home of the UFC. We know that the UFC is definitely benefiting from this. We know the fans are benefiting from this because it's now a lot cheaper to be a UFC fan. But what about the guys who actually put their lives on the line?
Yeah, exactly.
How do they benefit from it? Dana likes to say, like, oh, more people are going to watch them. Are they really? Is Paramount bigger than ESPN/ABC? Certainly not on social media. Certainly, like, we broke it down. The ESPN family of social media accounts, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, all equals out to 300 million subs/followers. The CBS family of social media accounts equals out to approximately 32 million subs/followers. And we all know everyone's on their phones, so they're going to lose a lot as far as, I think, like a presence and a footprint is concerned. Dana says that they're going to up the bonuses as a result of this. So currently they give out 4 bonuses at the end of every night, 2 for fight of the night and then 2 for the best performances. Currently it's $50K a night. He says they're going to up it. No one asked them the obvious follow-up, which was, by how much? Because technically it could be by $1 or $5K or $10K. I think it should be double because they're making double. And then what about the base pay? The base pay right now is 12 and 12. When you enter the UFC, you get 12 to show, 12 to win. Well, does that go up to 15-15? What about 20-20? And then what about the champions who get pay-per-view points? And what I mean by that is tomorrow night, Dricus du Plessis is the middleweight champion of the world. He's defending his title against Khamzat Chimaev. He gets a cut of the pay-per-view regardless of the number. He participates in the pay-per-view revenue. Now that there's no more more pay-per-view, what about those champions who the great incentive to become champion is to now participate in the pay-per-view revenue? That's now gone. So are they going to be taken care of? Dana says yes. His response is, we've got smart people in accounting that will figure this out. It's not quite Adam Silver talking about the CBA, but I guess the fighters are about to find out how it's going to affect them.
Now, I mean, I hear that and I start to think like, well, you knew when this deal was going to go down. It's not worked out yet. It's not anywhere in place that you can even speak on it yet. You got a pay-per-view, you said tomorrow, right? And it's only it's 5 left, right?
Yep.
5 left and then the deal happens. So realistically, he has that amount of time before, questions can really start spiraling against him. But it's definitely something to watch. Now, the WWE being split up, that's for sure got to be more expensive for its fandom, as far as they have to have multiple apps in order to see every event.
I actually think that this is better for the WWE fans,
Okay.
what has transpired here. I mean, obviously, if it's in one spot, that's easiest.
Yeah.
But okay, let's talk about Netflix. I mean, most people on the planet these days, I would say, have Netflix. And by now, if you're a WWE fan, you have Netflix. And that seems to be working out. Then you've got SmackDown on USA. If you were a WWE fan, you already had USA because Raw was on there forever. Mm-hmm. And if you're an NXT fan as well, that's on CW. And that's kind of essentially like free to air, right?
Yeah.
And so now, WWE going to ESPN, who would have thought in the year 2026, WWE's on ESPN and UFC and boxing, at least as of right now, isn't on ESPN because the Top Rank deal just expired. And to the best of my knowledge, so they wanted it to be a part of their new DTC platform that they're unveiling on August 21st, so in 6 days from now, which is essentially for $30, even if you don't have cable, you could get all the ESPN family and networks. You could get everything under the sun, including the Rich Eisen program, which is coming over in September. You know yourself, number one.
Ariel, thank you for that.
No, my pleasure. Please send that to the boys in Bristol for me. So that's great. And now what we don't know is, it's not going to be behind a paywall like the UFC was. So if you get that for $30, you're getting everything. If you already have cable and you're just, a guy like me who has DirecTV and you have ESPN Plus already, you're getting that as well. So it's not like the UFC was there was no sports entity on the planet that is asking, at least as of right now, for more money than its fans than the UFC, because the UFC was not only asking you here in America to pay the whatever it is, $13.99, $14.99 to be a Plus subscriber. In addition to that, O'Shea, you had to pay $79.99 for the pay-per-views every single month. So it was costing around $1,000 a year. Sometimes it's twice a month a show. That's a lot. Like in October, there's 2 pay-per-views in the span of 3 weeks. So I think for everyone, even though there's all these apps and it's getting a little crazy, I think both WWE and UFC fans should be pretty happy about what's to come in 2026.
So take that, Twitter, because the pitchforks came out. But before we're running a little low on time. This is exactly what I needed from you. So thank you.
Well, who do you have coming up after me? No one big.
Buffalo Bills star Marshawn Lynch, bro.
Yeah, my guy, beast mode himself.
Yeah, but
he'll always be a Bill, in my opinion.
I want to give you a no contest wrestling question right here, because you've been a fan for a long time of pro wrestling. I want to know, when did wrestling break your heart?
I'll tell you the first time that I remember feeling truly. What a great question, by the way, because that goes deep into the childhood memories, right? I will never forget, and it's actually one of my favorite WrestleManias because of this, because that's when I feel like I truly fell in love. WrestleMania 4, Atlantic City. There was a battle royal with all the sort of like mid-tier guys, and I loved the Hart Foundation because I loved the pink, I loved the outfit, I loved the heart attack, I loved the sort of like power of Jim the Anvil Neidhart and the finesse of Bret Hart. And I kind of felt like Bret was so cool that he could sort of do this on his own. At the time, he was still a part of the Hart Foundation. And it comes down to him and Bad News Brown. If you recall Bad News Brown with the ghetto blaster, he was a mean guy. And that finish blew my mind because as it played out, Bret thinks he won. Bad News Brown kind of hides in the back. Bret is the last one in the ring. He's celebrating, and there's Bad News Brown, who at the time in the middle of the match, they were both heels, so they were actually helping each other out and teaming up on people. They were in cahoots. He turns on him, hits him with the ghetto blaster, throws him out of the ring, and Bad News Brown wins the Battle Royal. I was heartbroken because I thought this was like Brett's big moment. This is his first time as a singles guy getting a big moment, getting the spotlight on him. And truly, and this is the brilliance of pro wrestling, as you know, that's when I fell in love with Bret Hart. That's when he became my first favorite athlete. That's when he became my guy. I adored him till this day. I adore him. I used to be such a big fan of his, O'Shea, that when I was a kid and I would go to the doctor's office and I would be afraid to get a shot, my mom would tell me, think of something that makes you happy. And I would close my eyes and think of Bret Hart winning the world title because he hadn't done so yet. That's where I would go. That's
awesome.
What the excellence of execution
Ariel.
means to me, my man.
Yes, man. Amazing answer, dude. Dude, we got to have you on our pod. I will let Rich know
Anytime.
that you need more invitations around here. Ariel Helwani, everybody.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys.
Man, thank you so
Go
much,
Orange.
bro.
Go
Thank you, guys.
Go Orange, go Bills.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.